Okay, now we are in assignment 5 of Visual Composer, which is basically an extension of Visual Composer assignment 4. Okay, so we will continue with assignment 4. This continuation will be our assignment 5. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to log on and to Visual Composer, and then from manage we have to select. I have logged on from manage. Okay, so I click on manage, and then from the local repository and further down I have to select that employee prototype, which is my assignment 4. Okay, I select that, and then I right click on that, I save as, and then I have to save it as my login number underscore employee underscore update for the development component. Okay, so I do this, I do save as, and for the development component I do SLU 001, that is my login number, and you all remember that this has to have only lowercase. Okay, employee update. SLU 001, LU 001 is my login number, you put in your login number, employee update. Okay. Okay, and so I have to open that employee prototype again. So I have to open employee prototype again. So I have to open employee prototype. Okay, so once I have opened that, what I have to do is in the next step I have to go to compose and bring in a service component, drag and drop a service component, and then in the workspace, and then I have to create service, and from that I have to give it a name, employee search, no space between employee and search, and click OK, and it should look like this. Okay, so I go here, and I go to compose, I bring in a service component, within components maybe, yes, then I create service, I name it employee search. Okay, I say OK. It has to be okay, it is within the workspace but outside of address change, so I'm fine within the workspace but outside of address change. Okay, so I have it this way. Now I have to double click on the employee search, drill down into the service, and I have two components. Okay, in the employee search I have to drag in data in and name it employee in, and I have to drag in data out and name it employee out. Okay, so I double click on it. In the employee search I drag in data in, name it employee in, okay, and then I drag in data out and I name it employee out. Okay, so this is what I have done. So if I go down, this looks like this. Now I have to select employee in, right click and define data and put on the plus to add a field, and then I make it a string and I enter employee ID as the string name and click close. Okay, so I right click, define data, this is string, and I type in employee ID, and I close. Okay, now define data for the employee out. I do that, select define data for employee out and add the following fields. So here you see lot of fields for employee out: ID, last name, first name, then all personal, underscore, city, country, house number, street, zip, and address ID, and then I have to close. So I come here, define data, string, employee ID, okay, I just wanted to make sure whether I have saved this. So if I define data, okay, employee ID is there, no problem. I just thought maybe I didn't save it. Okay, employee out, define data, employee ID, then string, string, first name, last name, personal, city, country, house number, street, zip. And then address ID. Address ID together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Address ID. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I close. Okay, so I have defined data for employee in and out. Then what I have to do is drag and drop a static data icon, right click on static one, select define data, and add the following data fields, all strings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, do not close. So I go to compose, then I do static data. Okay, so I go to compose, I bring in static data, right click, define data, and then I have to keep on doing the same thing. Employee ID, first name, can I search? Let's see. No. Last name, then personal, city, personal, country, personal, house number, personal, street, personal, zip, and address ID. do not close. Okay, then what we have to do is we have to initialize data and click on the plus sign to expand. So I initialize data, I click on the plus sign to expand, and then I have to enter some dummy data. Okay, and then I say OK, and then I close, and the dummy data I put in as I want. Okay, so let me put in dummy data. Employee ID, say 1111, first name, last name, okay, so I say OK, and then I close, right, close, and then I drag a link from static 1 to employee out, right click on the new link, select map data, then all the fields should be mapped, and I should select data rows for select mode and click close. So okay, so I close this. From here, do this, right click, no, it's not coming, map data, first name to last name to city to country, personal, house number, street, zip, address ID, all properly mapped, select data rows. Okay, and then I close. That's what I've been asked, select data rows and close. Then I have to click on service workspace and select WebDyn Pro for runtime. Okay, so configure. Okay, so it's WebDyn Pro is selected, it's the default, so don't have to worry about that. It's for runtime. Okay, now I return to employee prototype. If the ports are not visible for the new employee search service, right click and select redefine ports. Okay, and make sure employee in and employee out are selected. So I come here, not selected, so I redefine ports and I make sure employee in and employee out are selected, and I say OK. So I'm here now. Okay, and then I go to, I don't see a page number here, so let me name my page number. I use page number in my documents. Okay, so this is close header, and I go back to where I was, save it. I was in, actually I'm in page, I'm done with all of these. I'm here in page, end of page 14, so I move on to page 15. Okay, connect the output of search for employees form to the employee in port of the employee search service, out to in. Okay, so I just do this, out to in. I'm here, then I have to right click on the new link, select configure, and then I have to name the event as transition. Okay, right click, no, right click, configure. Okay, here event name transition. Okay, now I have to check here, this is transition. Now then employee out to the input of modify your details. Okay, so here to here. Okay, now the next step involves connecting the fields used in the interface with the fields in the service. So I click on the layout view. In the layout view, click on the search employee form, then click on the employee ID field. Okay, then click on the employee ID field. In the value drop down menu, in the value I have to select employee ID. Okay, so in the drop down I have to select employee ID. Now click on the details form, select employee ID field, then select employee ID from the drop down menu, select read only. Repeat for all the other fields on the details form. Okay, so let's do this. Here I have employee ID, and from here I have employee ID. Okay, first name I have first name, last name I have last name, country I have personal country, city I have personal city, street I have personal street, house number I have personal house number, zip I have personal zip, address ID I have address ID. Okay, so I have and then I have to save and deploy to test up to this point. So I save. Okay, now I deploy to test up to this point. Okay, so I click on click on the HTML link. Okay, and see what is happening. It's coming up. Okay, so let me check for employee ID 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, let it come. Okay, it hasn't come up yet. Let it come. Okay, so let me search with 1 2 3 4 5. What's happening? Okay, so this brings you to the detail page. Let me see if it should bring up the data. Okay, what I had to do is I had to go back and include the development component dependencies. Okay, I didn't include those, so I include that and I deploy one more time. Okay, and then I click on the HTML link and now it's coming up. Once it comes up, you can now do, say, any number you put in and then you search, it's bringing up the data that you have put in. It's not actually working, but it's kind of, you know, static data which we have used for prototype development, and it is pulling up the static data. Okay, now the next step involves adding a second service component which will simulate the data update. Okay, so I am here, I get rid of this, so it's working for the static data, and I go to the design view. Okay, in the design view, what I do is, from the compose tab, I drag another service component, and then I create service, and then I name it as edit employee address. Okay, so far if I go down, let's see how it looks. Okay, so edit employee address. So from here I go to compose, I pull up another service component, I create service, I name it edit employee address. Okay, so I say okay. Okay, now I have to double click on that, double click, and I have to pull in data in and name it employee detail in and data out, and I have to call it return. So double click on that, pull in data in, have to name it, sorry, not that, I have to name it employee detail in. Okay, and then I have to go to compose, I have to pull in a data out, and I have to name it return. Okay, now I have to right click on the employee detail in and select define data, and then I have to put in again the following fields 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I go here, define data, the same thing I've done so many times. Employee ID, first name, last name, personal, city, let me delete this, personal, city, personal, country, personal, house number, personal street, personal zip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last one, address ID. Okay, and I close. Okay, now click on the service workspace and select WebDyn Pro for runtime. There is no need, actually this is our this is our default, but I can just click on here. This is the workspace, click on here and see WebDyn Pro has already been selected. Now click on employee prototype application tab and right click on the edit employee address service, select redefine ports and select both ports. Okay, so I come here, I go to prototype, redefine ports, and I just have to join these two, click on the select these two. Okay, now I have to see, I have to connect those two. Okay, I'm building an application, remember, for address change. So I have to drag the output of details to the into the employee detail in port. Okay, so output of details to the employee detail in port. Okay, so this is what I've done. Right click on the new link, select map data. Mapping should already be done. Click close. So just to check mapping, let me close it and do one more time. Map data, and then employee ID, first name, last name, city, country, house number, street, zip, address ID, all properly done, and so I close it. Okay, now I have to right click on the new link and select configure and select transition for event name. So right click on the name, configure and transition for the event name. Okay, I've done that. Now then I have to drag the link between return to import of confirmation. So I have to do the return to import of confirmation. Okay, and then the final model appears as follows. Okay, so let's see if our final model appears as follows: employee search, employee address. Okay, now we have to deploy and see what's happening. So I come here, I save it, I deploy. Remember to include all dependencies, then I deploy. Continue. Okay, now I click on the HTML link and then I check. So these are the printouts you have to take. So I just do 1 2 3 4 static data. This brings back the static data that I put in. When I say back, it goes to search. When I say save, it moves to your changes has been saved. Save, it comes back. When I say back, okay, save, back, it goes back to detail. And when I say save, when I say back, it goes back to detail. When I say save, it brings me to search. So these are the pages you have to give me as per this assignment. Okay, so I need all three. So you first come here, you search. Before you hit the search button, you give me this page. So this is my first page. I come to all programs and paste, and this is my first page. Cut my Word document, okay, good. Then I have to click on the search button. It brings me here. So that's my print screen. I come to paint, I open a new one, no changes. I paste here. I take my this one, I cut. This is my B. I paste. Okay. Then my C is when I need to show by saving. Okay, so I come here, I save, and it shows me this. I come here to paint, I paste, then I take a screenshot of this. I cut, I get out of Paint, I go to my documents, this is my C, I paste it here, and this is my assignment 5, Visual Composer. Okay, one more left, and this is the last but one assignment. Okay.